only report to the national levels and the WHO, for example. And that can only be done by a youth. That's why we are here, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Felix. You're spot on. In fact, today we were having a conversation with health professionals. And we have all agreed that if there is one field that requires a bottom-up intervention, it is in health. That today we need, if the dispensary is working, if the health center is working, it's the only way the referral hospitals can work. Because there is no doctor, there is no health professional in the dispensary, there is congestion in the referral. So we lose at the dispensary and we lose at the referral. So we have agreed, for example, as Kenya Kwanza, we know that there is a big shortage of health professionals. We have given a commitment today that next year we will hire the first 20,000 health professionals.
Thank you.
And I am sure majority of them will be the young people of our nation.
Asante.
And our approach will be tied to what you have said. The one thing that is missing in our whole healthcare infrastructure is information. And it is because it has become difficult to procure a health management system. We have tried, cartels brought problems, but I want to commit to you that it's going to be our 100-day commitment that we will have a health management system in our country. That way, health and patient information becomes portable. And you don't have to repeat tests.
Yes.
When you go from one hospital to another, when you go from one facility to another, when you go from one county to another, you don't have to transport your health data. It will already be in the system. All we will need to put a caveat is how to protect that data from people who don't need to know it. So I think you have hit the nail on the head, and that's the way to go in matters health, and that's the only way we can secure the young people for them to be available tomorrow to build their country.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I should have given a disclaimer, Your Excellency. We have a patient who is recovering.
Okay.
So, Mheshimiwa Wetangula, begin on him. So, Your Excellency, the point that I want to bring in is mental health care. In the counties or the developed units, psychiatry service or psychiatric medical services are very much inaccessible, simply because you cannot get a psychiatric doctor in a health center, in a dispensary. You only get those professionals in a level 5, or those that have tried in a level 4. But look out here, Your Excellency, the youths are depressed. The youths are using alcohol to some extent that are becoming even unmanageable. The youths are also abusing drugs, not because of their will, but circumstances are leading them there. Not only even the youth, even the professionals, us in the medical system. We get stressed up because of even the economy or even the items that are happening in our situation. Your Excellency, when you come in, please, let us look at those figures. It is so alarming that 1 in every 5 people has a mental problem. So I believe we can count ourselves and know who has a mental problem. But, Your Excellency, please respond to that.
Absolutely. In fact, you are spot on. On the matter of mental health, it is really a serious problem. And you cannot just say youth are abusing drugs or youth are abusing alcohol. Even many leaders are abusing alcohol for the same reasons. Many adults I know are abusing alcohol because of pressure, so it's a societal problem, and it is a big problem. And I agree with you entirely that mental health is becoming a very serious issue, and we should train more people to deal with psychological challenges, making sure that these people can be treated with professionals who know how to handle, because sometimes you may think these people are sick, but they are not sick. They're just mentally, they have a problem, destabilized mentally, and that's what the future we want to look at. So, as you have said correctly, the training of our health professionals, especially the new fields of psychological help and support, are new fields that we need to inject more training. And precisely why we as Kenya Kwanza have said we want to merge the University House Funding Board, the Tibet Funding Board, and the Higher Education Loans Board, and make it a skills and funding board, or skills and funding authority, so that we can continuously assess what kind of professionals do we need trained. And those are the people we, using affirmative action, we pay more for the people we need in our society to come and deal with the challenges that face us, rather than training more people in areas that we already have a surplus, or in areas that may not be an emergency or may not be required immediately.
Yes. So,
Your Excellency, kidogo mimi na represent wale mavijana wa mtaani, masofara na vijana wana combat na unemployment. So unapata hapo kwa mental ill health wale wanaafektiwa sana ni mavijana, na vile umesema hata kuna mabuda wanaafektiwa, kuna ma-professional, but at least wewe na mabuda wanaweza afford hizi ma-services. Sisi ukienda mtaani hauwezi pata services kama ya mental health. Mali kama Nairobi County ni moja peke yake, na wanadeal na uwazimu peke yake. So unapata vijana wengi sana waliingililia hizi ma drugs na substance abuse juu ya unemployment, depression, but with the time anajaribu kutoka hapo, but sasa amekuwa so addicted, so unapata hata kutoka na kwa shida, na hizo rehabilitation center ni very expensive. So unapata hao mahasla wa chini na masafara juu hata vile wako unemployed hawana hata hizi NHIF. So unapata hata kusaidika kwa hizi maosi ni ngumu. Unapata vijana wengi sana wanajiua, wanacommit ma crime juu ya hakuna mtu anawasikiza. So mimi ningependa tu kuuliza Your Excellency, juu sisi tunakufa na Hustler Nation kama vijana, ni mpango gani iko nyeme utatusaidia sisi kama mayouth tupigane na hii mental ill health, juu hata hizi mahosia tu zifikia mkubwa?
You have spoken for many, and let me tell you this, my good brother Haji. Na huyu Haji namjua kutoka mbali. Tumekutana mahali kule Umo.
Ni ukweli.
Sasa what we have done with our healthcare, we have done two things. We have said that our healthcare will have 3 layers. Even those who cannot afford NHIF, now the law has been changed so that everybody who is over 18 years, whether you have money or you have no money, you will be enrolled in NHIF. Everybody.
Thank you.
That is number one. After you have been enrolled, there will be categories. There will be categories of people like the ones you have mentioned who cannot afford. That does not mean they cannot be treated. That health insurance, the health insurance we are going to give everybody who is 18 years and above, that health card will give you treatment for what you have said, even if you don't have money. That's number one.
Thank you.
Then there will be assessment of category number 2. The people who now pay 500. We have worked out our numbers, and we think instead of those people paying 500, we will reduce it to 300 so that we can have greater access. And then we have said, people like myself, who today I pay 1,700, we will move it to about 3,000 shillings every month. That way, instead of me coming to do a harambe, I better pay 3,000 and support the people who cannot afford to pay, so that all of us are covered. So that is the new strategy we have put in place as Kenya Kwanza, and that is what we are going to speak to you about on 30th of this month, and that is what we want you to vote for on 9th of August.
Kidogo na nikirudia tena, nimekwambia Nairobi County ni moja na hii ndio capital city, Your Excellency. Mimi ningeomba sana nikiotetea mayouth wengine wa Kenya, kama tunaweza create more facilities Kenya nzima, Your Excellency, ndio watu wa mashinani si lazima wakuje Nairobi kutritiwa hii mental health, na ni kitu sana inaumiza mayouth Kenya nzima. Utapata causes ya mental illness, ile main kabisa, Your Excellency, ni unemployment, na unemployment iko each and every part of Kenya. So ukijenga hizi facility, si tungeomba sana we spread all over the 47 counties, ndio hata wale vijana wako mashinani wapate services kama hizi, Your Excellency.
Yani sasa wewe Haji, ulikuwa unafikiri hiyo NHIF itabenefit watu wa Umo peke yao? Nikisema hiyo facility, nimesema that is going to be available nationally in every county. And I like what you have said. Wewe umesema hii tatizo inatokana na ukosefu wa ajira. And you have hit the nail on the head. The real challenge we have is opportunities for young people, either to work or to do business. Wale ambao hawana ajira wakijaribu biashara wanakosa credit ya kufanya hiyo biashara. Kwa mfano, ACBO, access to government procurement opportunities. Tulipatiana 30%. Only 7% was taken up. 23% was not. What is the biggest problem? Vijana anapata LPO, anatafuta mahali ya muti supply, anatafuta pesa, anakosa. Hiyo opportunity inapotea. Tumesema, wewe kijana sasa ukiwa na LPO, just LPO, tutakupatia pesa kutoka Hustler Fund usupply hiyo LPO bila ya kukuuliza maswali ingine. You don't need anything else apart from the LPO, kwa sababu LPO inatoka a government entity, na tutakupatia pesa ya kusupply kutokea hapo sasa, to make sure you have been paid, and there you make your markup, and we will enforce to make sure it is not 7% as it is now, it is 30% as is provided for in the law. Tunaelewana?
Iko sawa kabisa.
Alafu tumesema vile vile, kwa sababu ya ajira, na hiyo ndio conversation ya hii uchaguzi. Ajira is going to be the conversation of this election. Uchumi is going to be the conversation of this election. Kwa nini tunasema uchumi? Uchumi tukishughulikia tukishughulikia uchumi, that is how we are going to create jobs. Sisi tumesema kama Kenya Kwanza ya kwamba mwaka huu for the first time tumekuwa tukiongea tunataka kugrow the economy, alafu economy create jobs, alafu vijana wapate ajira. Lakini utafiti umeonyesha ya kwamba you can actually grow the economy but you end up with no jobs. So the economy is growing but a few people are happy. You know, tumesema kama Kenya Kwanza, we are going to be deliberate about where we invest. And our target in investing is creating jobs. Let me give you an example. When we talked about housing in the Big Four plan, it was not houses, it was jobs in the housing. That is what we were looking for. So as Kenya Kwanza, we are going to focus on investing in infrastructure, in value addition of all the products that we produce, in agro-processing, in the Juakali sector, in manufacturing, in industrialization, in areas that will create jobs for our young people. That is our target, so that we can lift many young people from where they are today. And we are going to work with numbers. When we say we want to do 100,000 houses in Nairobi, because that is where the shortage is, we are saying we want to hire at least 500,000 young people in Nairobi alone. And that's going to be county by county. And that is why we are shifting our education to TVET, so that we can produce the manpower to run our industrialization, our manufacturing, our housing agenda. And we are going to be deliberate. Are we together, Haj?
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I know you guys have so many other questions, but we have to move on to the next booth. Kuna zawadi anapewa hapa maridadi sana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, we can move to the next booth. The next booth is about sports. Hii ni njia moja vijana tunatumia kukosa kujihusisha na hizo miadarati. Hawa ni vijana wa Islando unaona hapa. Hii ni boxing ring. Your Excellency, uko safe. Uko safe. Wapi makofi ya mdosi anapoingia kukabiliana na machampe? All right. Thank you so much. So, Your Excellency, this guy here is called Oscar. He's not a boxer, lakini yeye ni juggler. Yeye umeka living kucheza na hiyo ball tu hivyo mdosi. Hivyo tu. Umse ameenda mpaka Ukraine before anze maneno. Huyu ni mtu mnoma. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Oscar.
Welcome to our world of sports. Mimi kwa majina naitwa Mike Mongai, coach wa boxing, team manager Nairobi County wa boxing. Matters to do the boxing. So sisi hapa tumeset stage kidogo ya boxing. We use boxing kusaidia vijana mtaani. Pande ya Eastlands kuna a lot of drugs, crime. So tunajaribu through boxing and football with my fellow brothers wako kwa pitch ya mpira kumenta youth, kuwafundisha away from juu kuna ukosefu wa kazi sana. So sisi tunatumia sports kurecreate time mingi sipotee watu wakikaa kwa mabase mtani, tunaziitanga base idling, zile watu wanakaa chini kwa street corners. So we try to get them from the street corners, tunawaleta kwa magym na viwanja za mpira zile ambazo ni ziko chache, tukisema to do with Nairobi juu social amenities halls hatuna. Saa ingine tuna train tu kwa open fields, kwa viwanja ambao si advisable in this sport of boxing na karate, but football inakubalika nje, na pia huko nje viwanja ni nadra, hakuna mingi za kwa estates. So hata kukuja kuperform hapa Nyayo Stadium mpira ama na kuanga ni shida, lazima tukue na pesa, na vijana ukiwaitisha pesa wengine wataenda kwa crime. So we try our level best through our fadhili kidogo. Tuko na lovers of boxing, kwanza tunafurahia young team ya Kenya Kwanza. Tuko na Sakaja hapa amekuwa kitusupport, MP George Theuri boxer amekuwa kitusaidia juu shida ile tuko nayo mingi ni equipment ambazo ni gloves, uniform, punching bags. Hata hii set ya ring saa ingine ina need tunahaya kwa sababu zinakosa, wale wako nayo ni jeshi peke yake na police. So hizi local clubs, yani raia kupata kitu kama hii inakuwa ni ngumu. Tungeomba tu in your incoming government, na naamini juu nyinyi you are young, mnaelewa shida za vijana, mtatushika mkono. Hizi halls ambayo siku hizi ile county ya kitambo imetunyang'anya hizi halls, tuna train kwa hired halls, mtaturudisha through Sakaja kwa hizo halls juu ziko walichoose kupatia kama kanisa. So sisi tunapata shida, hatupati mahali ya kutrain. Inakuwa saa ingine tukienda kutrain tunaambiwa kuna mkutano ya kanisa ama zingine zimekuwa hired kwa shule. So tungeomba tu in your government mtatu consider on that part, na leo sijui ama utafanya display ya boxing kidogo na Sakaja wetu. Juzi tunamuitanga Sakaja wetu ni mkubwa.
Sakaja atalimo hakuna haja.
Yeah. Hiyo tu ndio tungeomba kama vijana juu e-sport pia ina pay. When we get talent from these clubs ama from these fields, vijana wanaandikwa kazi. Kuna vijana wameandikwa jeshi, wengine wameandikwa police. Juu hizo tu ndio zile shirika zina consider sports. Yeah. Kwa sawa. Na ni hayo tu kwa sai your time. Yeah. This boxing ring, because hii tulinunuliwa kitambo na Ebo MP George Theuri. That time it was like 2014. It was around 3 million. So at current cost for now, maybe if you get local, juu hata mahasla ni mawelda, wakinunuliwa hizi machuma na measurements, wapate support from your government, watazitengeza local, si lazima tuende nje kupata vitu kama hizi.
Asante sana coach.
Mike.
Coach Mungai, asante sana. Sasa mimi nataka nikuambie hivi. The whole sports space, tulisema hivi 2014, 2015 tulitengeneza sheria ambayo inatengeneza fund inaitwa Arts and Sports Fund. Hiyo fund imekuwa na karibu shilingi bilioni 30. Lakini wale waliwekwa kule ndani hawaku focus kwa sports. Pesa nyingi, hiyo pesa nyingi ilienda kwingine. Ilienda kwa mambo ya brick and mortar tena. Na tulikuwa tunatengeneza hiyo fund specifically kushughulikia wachezaji na sportsmen and women kama wewe. Mimi nataka nikueleze ya kwamba tatizo ya hiyo fund ni kwamba ile board iko pale ni board ambayo haina kuelewa. Unakumbuka hiyo board ndio ule my predecessor Mudi Awori alikuwa ameweka kwa hiyo board. Ndio watu wakalete noma, ikalete noma hivi. So hiyo board tutaibadilisha na tuweke vijana ambao wanaelewa mambo haya ya sports. Na mimi nataka nifanye commitment. Nataka nifanye commitment kwa watu wote ambao ni watu wako kwa creative industry, watu wako katika sports industry, ya kwamba hiyo fund kila mwaka the whole of it itaenda kwa mambo ya sports, kama vile sports infrastructure kama hii hapa, sports stadia, sports ile mambo yote ambayo itasaidia sports. Hatutapeleka kwingine mahali saa hizi imepelekwa. Saa hizi imepelekwa kwenda kutengeneza hospitali. Hospitali tutajenga na pesa ya serikali, lakini hii tutaweka katika fund ambayo itafaidi watu sportsmen kama wewe, coach kama wewe, muweze kupata vifaa kama hizi na kuwe na progressive investment katika hiyo mambo yote ya sports infrastructure. Tuwe na stadium. Watu wamekuwa wakiniuliza sana mambo ya stadium. Ile stadium tulikuwa tumesema 11, sasa 80% imeisha. Yeah? Lakini mimi nataka, I want to give a commitment to our sportsmen and women and the people in the creative industry that going forward, the Arts and Sports Fund will be dedicated to building sports and arts infrastructure only. We are not going to commit to do anything else as has been done in the past. And we are going to put there people who understand the priorities in matters creative industry and matters sports and culture. So we're going to put our resources there.
Asante sana.
Boss.
Asante sana. Tafadhali wapi makofi ya boss rate tafadhali. Thank you so much. Hatutaki Sakaja utapigwa, utachapwa earthquake my friend. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask your excellencies.
Internship, Your Excellency, but mdosi wako alituahidi na hakutimiza story ya paid internship. So ningependa kuuliza on behalf of other young people, tunajua wewe ni you have excellent track record, na sasa tungependa kujua hiyo paid internship itakuwaje reality kwa serikali ya Hasla?
Ni deni ambayo hatukulipa, and that is why Waswahili wanasema ahadi ni deni, na hiyo ndio deni mimi nataka nilipe. This time round, I must pay that debt to the young people of our nation.
Thank you so much.
Sawa,
Thank
sawa.
you, Your Excellency.
Wase, nionyeshe mkono kama tuna mfukoni na bottom up. Hawa ni maasla wa Islands kutoka Buruburu. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Brooklyn Boys.
street ako hapa hivi na joko na dream ya kutoka kwa block.
Yeah.
Kila msana data
Kwa
kwa
street,
block.
wa home, kutoka home. Kitu kwa hiyo. Toka kwa block, dream ni ya kutoka kwa block. Bottom up.
Kwa dedication.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate our Asla tafadhali. Asante sana. Your Excellency. Leo tutakuzungusha sana lakini utanisamehe. Naomba tukupige picha tu hapa. Hizi ndio picha tunatumia. Hii ni 360 mdosi. Ukisimama tu hapo, huyo operator anakupanga mara hiyo hiyo. Yai Gumzo, we're going to have 2 questions. Na wewe ndio utakuwa bosi yetu. Karibu.
All right. Karibuni sana kwenye Gumzo. Na remember tuko live kwenye Ghetto Radio 89.5, and of course most of the issues za mavijana zimekuwa so much addressed, and I am happy kwanza to point out a few leaders wenye nimesikia wamefanya vitu mob sana, especially kusupport the young people ikuwe ni sports. Nimesikia Theuri hapo ametajwa, Sakaja and all those people wenye wanafanya vitu mob sana kusupport the young people. And I am happy also that tuko na leadership ya Kenya Kwanza Coalition, and the people seated right here ni wase wana represent issues mob sana za mavijana, and I'll be giving most of them a chance. Kila mtu atakuwa anauliza swali. Gonna make it so brief because issues mobs zimekuwa addressed huko, kama ni wase wa biashara ndogo ndogo, issues zimekuwa addressed pale, you know, and what Kenya Kwanza Coalition wana plan kusaidia wase wa biashara ndogo ndogo. So I'll shoot the question so fast to my people mwenye wako panel iko huku nyuma. Na ile swali ya kwanza yenye watu walinituma nayo kwa wenye walisikia tunakuja kupata na DP. Enda umwambia hatuna do. Enda umwambia hatuna do. Na mtu wa kwanza hapa mwenye ana address, you know, the cost of living na venye situation iko kwa ground. Ako hapa kwa panel. Chipukizi utampatia microphone nasa pa ndio aweze kuuliza swali yake.
Your Excellency, mimi naitwa Duale na si ule mwingine. Mimi natoka Nakuru. Your Excellency, the price of fuel or the cost of fuel has increased. The price of fuel has increased, that has make it and there's no subsidy for fuel. So, and that's making it the life of young people very hard, and they may increase peer cost of living. So we're asking, what is one thing that your government or Kenya Kwanza they're going to do about the price of fuel and why there is no subsidy of fuel? Thank you.
Asante sana Duale. Ukifuata campaign yetu kama Kenya Kwanza, tumesema kama kuna jambo moja lazima tutatue ni kupunguza gharama ya maisha. Hiyo hatuna lingine, hatuna la ziada na si tafadhali. Hiyo ni lazima kwa sababu wase wengi wanalala njaa. Gharama ya bei ya unga sasa in 2018 kabla ya handshake unga ilikuwa 75. Saa hizi ni 230. Unaona boss? Haya. Bei ya mafuta ndio hiyo, bei ya petroli umesema ndio hiyo, na lazima na watu wasiseme ya kwamba there is nothing that can be done. there are interventions that can be done. The reason why bei ya chakula imepanda katika taifa letu la Kenya is because we dropped the ball. Katika ile mpango tulikuwa nayo ya Big Four, one of the Big Four pillars was agriculture and food security. It was actually food security and nutrition. Lakini pale tulikuwa na commitment ya subsidy ya fertilizer ya wakulima. Hiyo subsidy iliondolewa. Kumaanisha fertilizer ile tulikuwa tunanunua shilingi 2,000, sasa iko shilingi 6,500. Wale wakulima wakakwama. So price ya production ikaenda juu, na price ya production ikienda juu, price ya the final product inaenda juu. Mimi nataka niwahakikishie watu wa Kenya, hasa vijana wa Kenya, who are the majority at the bottom of the pyramid, that immediately we will reinstate the fertilizer subsidy, number 1. We will, number 2, make sure that we have quality, affordable seeds. Number 3, tumetengeneza a revolving fund yenye tutapatia wakulima 2,000,000. 2 million farmers, we're going to give them farm inputs. Wakulima 2,000,000. Tutawapatia pembejeo so that they can produce not just enough for them to eat, but they can produce a surplus and make sure that we have food in our country. Hiyo mpango yetu, it will cost us 30 billion. Na hiyo 30 billion is going to be a revolving fund, iko na pesa yenye tutaweka hukule ndani, na tumesema pia tutakuwa na extension services. We are going to factor in extension services. Hiyo program yetu yote ita cost 50 billion. Wakulima 2,000,000. Wale tunashindana na wao, umesikia wakisema hata na wao watalipa watu 2,000,000 handout. Na hiyo handout itakuwa 145 billion. We are going to use less than half to do twice what they want to do. Na hiyo ndio tofauti kati yetu na wao, because they haven't thought through what they are saying. We have thought through what we are saying. Katika Kenya Kwanza tuko na professionals, economists, agricultural economists karibu 200 wamekuwa wakiketi for the last 1 year wakipanga vile tukiingia kwa serikali tutabadilisha mambo ya cost of living, kwa sababu hapo kila mtu anaumia. Na nimesema, na ni ukweli, matatizo saa zingine tusiwalaumu wale wengine. Unajua, kama hujawahi kulala njaa siku moja, huwezi kujua kulala njaa ni nini. So sometimes we cannot blame our competitors. They have never slept hungry, so they don't know what it is to sleep hungry. Even the conversation we are having now, kwamba bei ya unga imepanda, they cannot participate because it doesn't register to them. Shida iko wapi, according to many of them. So that is why we are saying tunatengeneza serikali ya mahasla mwaka huu yenye inaelewa lugha ya mwananchi wa kawaida.
Asante, over to you, Wangeshi.
All right, thank you very much, His Excellency William Ruto.
And while we are there, si unaona ule jamaa aliniuzia mahindi pale?
Yeah.
Ule mahindi choma, na hiyo mahindi choma ilikuwa tamu sana, lakini sasa sikupata nafasi ya kuimanya. Lakini sasa huyo, sasa ile mahindi ilikuwa 10 bob, sasa ni 50.
Ala. And of course, you can follow the conversation online. Of course, #tunatumia ni freedom. Chipukizi?
Freedom is coming.
Freedom is coming. Of course, I'll be directing all the questions to the various leaders when wako hapa wamekaa kwenye panel. But there's something else that somebody in this panel alikuwa anataka kumention about, which was the blue economy, anaitwa Sankara.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and my party leader, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi. I am Kennedy Ochieng Sankara from the Lakeside region of Kisumu. and I'm from the ANC party. Now I'll be very brief with my questions. Our regions having not been part of the economic forums, you'll bear with me to ask at least 3 questions. Number 1, Your Excellency, Kisumu or the lakeside counties, the Luo counties are known as the fishing counties. We've seen security and insecurity issues our fishers have been facing from the security counterparts from Uganda. We've seen young people, those fishermen, most of them are young people. They are being forced to eat raw fish. What are you going to do to step up so that security of these young men are guaranteed as they push the bottom-up economy? Number 2, we have seen importation of fish from China. We understand this has an impact directly on our economy, being that we stand a chance of producing fish locally, but that is being eat hard by the importation. So what are you going to do to look into to this matter? Thirdly, we have seen in the lakeside region, there is mushrooming of slums. This has been increased through poverty, and the slums, they lack proper sanitation and they lack garbage collection. This has really affected or increased eutrophication in the lake, and that has affected the quality of water and also the safety of that water. In brief, what are you going to do to ensure that the lakeside residents get access to clean water, and so that we improve on our health, because we both understand the meaning of blue economy? Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Sankara, sorry. Bwana Sankara, asante sana. Let me just make 2 corrections first. Number 1, the fishing counties are both in the lake and in the ocean. So I think that blue economy covers those areas. And you're correct, that is the main activity there. Number 2, let me also make another correction. We had a very robust economic forum in Kisumu and in Homa Bay. We combined the counties of Siaya and Kisumu in Kisumu, and we had close to 1,000 people in attendance. We did the same in Homa Bay. We combined Homa Bay and Migori, and we had a very extensive conversation. You remember the day I was stoned in Kisumu? I had actually gone for that economic forum. That was the time I had gone for that economic forum. So I just want to tell you that the economic forum we have attended is across the country. In fact, we are finalizing the last 6 counties tomorrow. Some people are going to Turkana, some people are going to West Pokot, some people are going to go to Musalia, for example, will be in Kitui. JB Muturi will be in West Pokot. Gashagwa will be in Samburu and other areas, and my good brother Mutua will be part of that delegation. So, and Moses Wetangula will be in Turkana. So that economic forum platform is a platform that we want to engage with citizens, so that the manifesto we are developing is informed by ideas, suggestions from the people of Kenya, because this is their country, and what they want to form is their government. That is our belief, and that's why we believe in bottom-up. Finally, let me come to the issues you raised. The issues of the blue economy and what are we doing to make sure that there is adequate security. There is a real challenge of insecurity, both in the ocean with the terrorism and in Lake Victoria because of the challenges we have with the government of Uganda. I think as Kenya Kwanza, we have made a commitment that we are going to up our diplomatic engagement. It is possible for us to iron out the issues between the government of Kenya and the government in Uganda, so that our citizens can trade seamlessly. Our citizens can engage in economic activity seamlessly. We are continuously saying borders should not be barriers. Borders should be bridges for us to move across, them to move across, and it should be bridges for goods, for services, and for everything else that we need. That's the way we look at it. Uganda and Kenya have also signed to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is another avenue we can leverage to improve the trade relations between our countries and eliminate this challenge we have that when Kenyan fishermen are arrested, they are made to eat raw fish. We don't think it is right, and we should solve it. And I want to give you my commitment that that is what we will do. Number two, you have mentioned about slums that are developing and the challenge of solid waste disposal and management. We have, for example, committed ourselves and our county leaders that going into the future, for example, Nairobi, we cannot continue to have Dandora the way it is. Dandora cannot continue to be an eyesore. Dandora cannot continue to be the health hazard that it is today. We have to manage waste in a way that we create value out of waste, because there is value. There is value in waste. There is value that we can derive from it. We can generate energy out of it. We can generate products out of it. We can, so there is huge value, and we want to make solid waste disposal and management a product, not a menace. So that's the direction we are looking at, and that is going to apply across all the counties. And finally, your issue on poverty and slums. Part of our program in managing housing in our big cities, we want to look at slums not as a problem, but as an opportunity. Because the proliferation of slums is because of the challenge of housing. There are many people who cannot afford the houses we are currently building. We have made a commitment that we are going to work on modern methods of housing, better methods of housing, so that we can create houses that are affordable to Kenyans. And we're going to have two very important categories of housing: social housing and low-cost housing. And we have committed ourselves as Kenya Kwanza that the people living in slums, some of them pay as much as 3,000, 4,000. Some of the people living in informal settlements pay as much as 6,000, 7,000. We want to change so that the person who is paying 6,000, 7,000, they can pay 8,000, and instead of it being rent, it should be mortgage, so that in 15 years, 20 years, the house belongs to them. So we want to elevate, like the slum upgrading that is going on in Kibera. We want to move it to another level, where we are doing it across the city, and we're going to make funding available. We're going to make the land available, and we are also going to assist in making sure that we have a cheaper technology that can give us cheaper houses, or much more cost-effective houses. So that is our plan going into the future. And as we look at that, by the way, Sankara, we're not even looking at it as a problem to solve housing only. We're also looking at it as an opportunity to create jobs for the millions of young people that do not have jobs today.
Asante sana. We are going to have the last two people asking one question, guys. Remember, those of us who are watching live from home, you can ask your question on social media. The hashtag freedom is coming. Go to Dr. William Samoei Ruto Facebook, record a video and ask him a question, and we're going to respond before the end of the program. Wangeshi.
All right,
two more, please.
Okay, just 2 more questions because of time. Na swali moja yenye imekuwa kisumbua ma youth sana ni the involvement of the young people when it comes to leadership. Wanasema oh, hizi ofisi zimejaa wazee nini, but to expand more on that, I'll have one guy seated right there to ask the question.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Vijana oye, I'll be very brief because, Your Excellency, this is a very serious conversation, especially on leadership. My name is Omulo Jr. I'm a young person, a member of the National Youth Council, and a director in a party that is led by Musalia Mudavadi. Your Excellency, by extension, I've seen even in Kenya Kwanza, we have young people leading, over 70% in leadership. But today, most importantly, Your Excellency, we want to talk about issues that are affecting young people in leadership. In this Kenyan government, Your Excellency, we have challenges. At the same time, we have policies that are there, we have platforms that are there, we have institutions that are there, but they are not well coordinated. For example, Your Excellency, we have functions and programs that are put under different ministries. The National Youth Council is put under the Ministry of ICT. We have the National Youth Service is put under the Public Service. All these youth functions are not well coordinated. And giving you a good example one by one, in the National Youth Council, which is an act of parliament, that is meant to coordinate, that is meant to come up with policy issues in parliament, that is a link between the government and the youth, has not been given enough funding. Can you commit in your government that when you take over as president, you will give enough funding to the National Youth Council so that we can have elections of the youth at the ward level, representatives that will be able to give a clear direction of the young people at the ward level, at the constituency level, so that they can be absorbed at the county level as youth advisory board to be able to advise the county government on youth issues. Secondly, Your Excellency, the National Youth Service. The National Youth Service has been receiving a lot of money from the government, but the National Youth Council, the service has not been able to provide revenue to the government. They have huge parcels of land, they have a lot of resources that if we are able to tap on, they can now regenerate revenue back to the government and create more employment to the young people. Can you give us a commitment that when you take over as President of the Republic of Kenya, you'll be able to transform the National Youth Service so that those who graduate can have meaningful employment and we can tap on the resources that are there to create more employment? Finally, Your Excellency, all these issues to be coordinated and mainstream, can you assure us that we will have a standalone Ministry of Youth that is led by a young person that will be able to coordinate and mainstream all these issues together? Thank you, Your Excellency. And because we are three, I only want to give second to Kiere and Zach to say something.
Hamjambo. Hechi, fiti. Kwa majina anaitwa Kevin Kiere. I'm a wakili by profession. So just to affirm what Omolo has said, you find most of the time we have good policies that tend to favor the young people. And at the same time, the youth comprise the biggest component of our society today. But unapata at the end of the day, si vijana tunakaa kama marginalized. Actually, to make it even worse, iko kwa sheria ya kwamba vijana wao already marginalized. So to affirm to what Omolo is saying, you find that at the end of the day, these policies need to be monitored, they need to be implemented, and they need to be put in place. As much as we are doing that, we find that we have less representation kwa county assembly na kwa national assembly. Na sasa hivi tunaangalia, tunaona wamama wamejipanga na 2/3 yao. Sisi tunataka utuashue kwa serikali yako ya kwamba tutakuwa na 2/3 ya vijana. So that in each and every ministry, in each and every parastatal, hata county administrators wanafaa kuwa vijana. Ama namna gani? Sindio? Siamba county admin na ward admin wanafaa kuwa vijana. Sindio? So we need to see such policies, Your Excellency, to be put in place. And even our leaders in Kenya Kwanza, they should ensure that this is the first business in the first 100 days once we form government. So that this issue of young people, 2027 tusirudi hapa tukiongea mambo ya vijana mashida, sindio? Then at the end, at each and every International Youth Day, kindly we need a presidential address, wanatupatia vile tumefikia on matters youth implementation and matters solving youth issues. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Kiarie. and my good brother, Junior Omolo. Let me say just 3 things so that I can allow my colleagues also to say something about, because it is the real elephant, you know, the participation of young people in our country, their contribution. And let me say the following. Our focus, you know, the reason why we have these challenges is because we need to go to the root cause. First, we must get good quality education for our young people. And we must open those opportunities for everybody. And we must allow everybody to pursue their talent. I'm speaking here as a parent. My son wanted to be a pilot. As a father, I didn't think, pilot, no. So I told him, no, you must go to university. So he said, okay, you want me to go to university? Okay, I'll go to university. So he went to university. I thought by the time he finishes 4 years in university, he'll have forgotten about being a pilot. He came back after the degree. He brought the degree and said, okay, here is the degree. I want to be a pilot. So I didn't have a choice. I had to look for a flying school for them. I want to say we must allow every young person to pursue what their talent is. And the education we have should be sensitive. If one wants to do film, one of my daughters wanted to do film, I refused because I thought I knew better. So this is why we need to look at that. So what I am saying is the following, that we must first have the right grounding for our young people. Number 2, all the opportunities that already the law gives to our young people, all the opportunities, whether through AGBO, we must make them accessible, whether through other interventions, when the law says a certain percentage of people must be represented in the youth, must have a certain percentage in county assemblies, we must actualize. In National Assembly, we must actualize. In employment opportunities, we must actualize. So that at every stage, we are carrying the young people along. What are we doing as Kenya Kwanza? We have said what we will do in education, in health, and we have made our contribution in nominations. We commit that we will have a youth ministry. That's number 1. But beyond a youth ministry, youth issues cut across ministries. Youth issues cut across government. You cannot consolidate all the youth issues into a youth ministry. Do we agree? So additionally, I have made a commitment that there will be a young person to represent young people at the presidency, and he will be a member of cabinet so that that young person, being a member of cabinet, can speak authoritatively to every issue that comes to cabinet from every ministry and make sure that it is youth sensitive. Whether we are discussing road construction, or we are discussing agriculture, or we are discussing health, we must carry along the voice of the young people. And I have said we will have that young person at the presidency, but sitting in cabinet so that the youth issues that cut across all other ministries are addressed. Let me finally maybe give an opportunity to Musalia Mudavadi and then maybe Alfred to say something I've forgotten.
Thank you. Maybe I'll just be a little bit personal. I'm a living testimony of youth that can be nurtured. I became minister at the age of 28. And I became Kenya's Minister for Finance at the age of 33. So it is so clear that as we speak, it is the talent. And you are the ones who can get us out of a lot of challenges. Because as I say, I went personal. I was going that way because it's as if history is reliving itself. Right now, Kenya is in a boiler room. I don't know whether it's like. If you go there, it is so hot. And if there's no ventilation, you'll die and suffocate in there. The Kenyan economy is in a boiler room. It's like a boiler room. The cost of living is biting. It's making it extremely difficult. Now, I bring this narrative because a few days ago, I saw a narrative that is saying the young people do not have no capacity to bring change. The young people have no capacity to give us the freedom that we are talking of, that freedom is coming. I know they are wrong, and we must prove them wrong. You, as the young people, must be at the forefront of redefining the destiny of our country. And to do so, come out and vote. Be the difference that Kenya requires. Now, when we talk of involvement in government and so forth, I want to say that in my closing remarks, as I walked here, when I was at the point of despairing, I can see hope. You are our hope. You are Kenya Kwanza. Let us put the nation first. There are challenges, but there is nobody who is better placed to face those challenges than the younger people of this country. As Kenya Kwanza, and pulled us from our youth to where we are committing that as Kenya Kwanza, we shall do the same because there is no alternative. Thank you.
Let me ask my good brother Ndindi Nyoro, as a young person in our Kenya Kwanza fraternity, he is very passionate about certain things, and whenever we have a discussion, he brings a lot of wisdom from young people. Ndindi.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, even for accepting that we have a ministry dedicated to youth affairs. Also, Your Excellency, I'm sure we've had this discussion for a long time in regards to matters of youth involvement in governance. And the work of this ministry per se will not be basically as a representative of the youth. The work of the ministry is to mainstream that even in the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Roads, the Ministry of everything, the youth must be properly and ably represented across. And not just as kanda za moko or watu wa mkono, not in the lower cadres. Mheshimiwa Mudavadi was a minister at 33. He has made me feel so old that I'm just basically an MP at my age. And I'm sure across even the many nations in the world. The current president of France was elected basically as a youthful person. Even historically, the minister, the late president, the best president of Kenya, Mwai Kibaki, actually became a CEO of the then leading party at barely 30 years. And that is why he was able to be nurtured to become what he became. Even the leadership represented here, and I'm throwing this challenge to the youth of Kenya, and also to the people of Kenya to thank them for giving the youthful people opportunities. All our leaders represented here, starting with Honorable, our 5th President, William Ruto. He became MP at 32, at 31 actually. The Honorable Musalia Mudavadi became minister at 28. Honorable Wetangula became an MP at a youthful age. What am I trying to say? That we aspire as the leaders of Kenya, youthful leaders, to become leaders at our tender age, but also the people of Kenya to give us an opportunity, so that, because when you become a young leader, you are able to be nurtured, you are able to go through experiences that actually make you a better leader even in the years to come. Lastly, Your Excellency, we've been talking about many things, and I thank you because the youth of Kenya are at the center of making the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza. And I can authoritatively say the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza is actually a manifesto of the youth of Kenya.
Absolutely.
You have given us a decision, myself included, to be at the center. You are actually at the periphery, the other leadership, and I thank you for that. One of the main issues I want to address that I am sure will also be mentioned on the 30th is that beyond, I am sure we are very passionate as Kenya Kwanza about an inclusive economy, about the hustlers, and we are going to do that. But the hustlers actually give a basis of market for even the larger companies. We'll be very deliberate also in terms of the youth in the creative sector, in the IT sector. And we will have an Ubunifu Fund, which will actually focus on guaranteeing finance to those people with imagination, with ideas within the tech space. And the government of Kenya is going to guarantee crowdsourcing and also Series A funding of all the tech ideas, so that the many people of Kenya, youthful, in our universities, doing elaborate things around tech. The only missing link is finance. The government of Kenya will bridge that gap by guaranteeing Series A funding and also attracting venture capital, attracting private equity, so that Kenya can become a Taiwan of some sort, can become a Vietnam, can become a South Korea. It is doable. It is going to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Alfred Mutua has a small issue, and then we'll take the last question.
I also became, in my DVD, I also want to be personal. I also became the government spokesman at the age of 33. And that's the kind of government that we as Kenya Kwanza, under the leadership of William Ruto, wants to put in place. One that recognizes talent and ability. But to young people, I want to tell you one thing. Leadership is not given, it is taken. Do not wait for it to be given. Mkipoa tu mnasare mnangojea ati mpewe, hamtapewa. Mnaelewa? Lazima ujitokeze so that you know that ujitokeleze, so that you know that you can actually be seen. But also, you need a government that will give an opportunity to young people. Sindio? If you compare the two governments, the Kenya Kwanza government with the other Kuzimia government, if you compare the two of them, you can tell, which one is more progressive, which one will be able to take us forward. Sindio? Ukiangalia wale kweli, wana time yetu kweli. At their age and where they are, really, it is not their fault, but it is where they are. Sindio? So lazima mbogi, lazima tukairada. Sindio? Tujipange, ndio tuendelee vizuri. The other thing is to look at things like the youth fund. There's so much bureaucracy in this country against the young people. I was talking to Mheshimiwa Keteri earlier on today. If you are applying for a job, all those things unaambiwa ulete sijui certificate ya DCI, good conduct, nini. Na ulikuwa unataka tu kwa mpishi. A lot of things that are not necessary. So one of the things we're going to do is to remove all this bureaucracy. When you're applying for jobs, come on, your security, let your security, not all these bureaucracies that are tagged against young people. I love those advertisements that say you need to be over 35 years, ama unaambiwa you need 15 years experience, unaelewa? And with the majority, it cannot work. But this changes young people, my friends, will not happen unless we all come out and vote properly. At the end of the day, we have to make a... And unajua wahenga wanasema, ujana kama moshi, ukienda haurudi. We are young people. Masaa ikipita, yamepita, si ndio? Wale wase wengine, umesikia Manueli akisema, hawajui njaa. They have grown up well. One, ukiangalia vile wamejipanga, one was the father was the president, the other one, the father was the vice president. Hawajui shida. Hata ukiangalia vile wana move, weko sawa kabisa. Wanajiita baba na mama, lakini ukiangalia naona ni babu na nyanya. Because they have nothing to offer. Na si ni ukweli? Si jamaa kitendawili ana grandchildren. Si mwingine wa simio, yuko grandchildren, si ndio? Haro, yuko na grandchildren, si ndio? Ni babu na nyanya. Now they do not have a solution for the young people of this country. We are facing a myriad of challenges. And I'm telling you that the march that we have to go, the transformation that this country needs, will need somebody who has the energy to work. We are not going to be taken for granted anymore. The time for change is here. Watake wasitake. It is a time for us, the young people of this country, to take over. And we'll do that with Kenya Kwanza. Kwa hivyo nawahimiza mwisho, ukitoka hapa, hizi stories zote tumepiga leo, everything we are doing here will come to nothing if you do not go out and tell other people that stories are hadithi za babu na nyanya hatutaki na eka za bunwasi, tunataka hasla na hii mambo yetu ambayo tumewaletea ya kusonga mbele. At the end of the day, it's about money in the pocket. It's about money in the pocket, and this team will give you money in the pocket.
Okay. Asante sana, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
I think we are going to have the last question. Na mkinikubalia, wacha tupatie Katelo aulize mdosi swali moja tu. Karibu bro.
Oh yeah. Mweshi kitu yenye nataka kuuliza, sisi mavijana na watu wanaitwa manjege ama masanse ama mangure, kuna venye relationship yetu nao sisi kama vijana, kuna venye inakuanga imedorora sana, yani kuna venye nanipata like manjege ni mandugu wetu wakubwa, lakini pia wakipatana na wewe choche mbaya, kuna venye wakipatana na wewe ni kijana, kuna venye wewe polisi ana dealing na wewe tu, yani design fulani, pia akipatana na wewe kwanza ni kijana, alafu kwanza ikwe ni kayole na ikwe ni kwa choche na usiku bana. Yani relationship yetu kama mayouth man na manjege inaweza improve aje kidogo, tuelewane kidogo, tuweze kuishi pamoja juu so far tumeshindwa kukaanisha bana. Ona kuna venye bana jo ukiwa na madredi, kuna pia mayouth wana madwa ma innocent, extrajudicial killings, unapata youth ameshandwa na ni innocent, kuharasiwa, kukuja mnabebwa hapo, mnaenda mnaingizwa hapo stage, mnatoka sijui na madhaudhao, na labda wewe ulikuwa umetoka kufuta magizani ama ulikuwa umetoka mboka. Relationship yetu na mangure ita improve aje?
Your Excellency, potea manjege ni polisi na mayouthman ni watu kama yeye, so anasema polisi na vijana kutakuwaje? Hiyo story yote tu.
Kwanza nataka nikushukuru sana Katelo kwa swali lago. Manjege sasa tutawapanga, masanze tutawapanga, kwa sababu tumesema hivi, tatizo ya hawa manjege ama polisi ni kwamba kwa muda mrefu ile package yao, mishahara, terms of service, haijaangaliwa kwa karibu miaka 15 hivi. Tumesema kama serikali ya Kenya Kwanza kwamba tutashughulika na maslahi ya public servants, wale wote wanaofanya kazi, wanaofanyia kazi raia wa Kenya, lazima pia tuwashughulikie. na tumekubaliana ya kwamba hawa manjege lazima wapate training ya kujua ya kwamba waelewe kwamba kijana akifaa dreadlocks sio mhalifu. You know, kama huyu Haji hapa. So, na pia tuelewane kwamba tukiimprove standard of employment na terms of service ya polisi wetu, pia tutaketi chini na wao, kila mtu akunywe chai kwake. Story ya kukunywa chai barabarani tuache, si ndio? Kila mtu akunywe chai kwake, si ndio? Alafu tumekubaliana vile vile ya kwamba tukienda mbele, security ni ya muhimu, na security inaanza na wewe pale mtaani. Pia na sisi kama citizens ni lazima tuwe responsible. You know, we must be part of the policing of our neighborhoods. You know, pale kwa neighborhood ni sisi, you know, ndio tutashughulika na kujua nani anafanya mambo ambayo sio mazuri. Mtu aelewe nini, ndio tuwe na neighborhood yenye iko na usalama. Sio pale reduce ile interaction na police, na tungependa vile Sakaja anasema yeye Sakaja anasema anataka yule mtu wa kanjo akikuja kwako sio kuja kukuharas, ni kukuuliza ni vipi hii biashara yako tunaweza kusaidia ikuwe bora zaidi. That you know the kind of relationship we want to build with our public servants, whether they are the police or they work in the council or they work in the county or any other thing. Maybe I can ask my good deputy to say something about Bwana Gachagua.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It is true, the way this young man has put it, our policemen over time have decided that being young is a crime. And it isn't. It isn't a crime to be youthful. And what we are helping our presidential candidate, we have started having a conversation with our officers informally. Na tumekubaliana na hawa. Mambo yao ikiangalia wapewe mshahara na marupurupu, pia hao wakuwe waangwana. Hii maneno ya kitu kidogo wawachane naye. We are telling them, hii vijana wakipatana nao usiku ameshikana mkono na girlfriend yake, that is not a crime. It isn't. Na tunawaambia hawa tunataka tukae kama the first world in America, where the police and the citizens ni marafiki. Polisi wakipatana na wewe usiku, if you are drunk and you are driving, they put you in the police station so that you get over the drunkenness. Ukishakuwa sober wanakupatia gari yako naenda nyumbani. Tunaambia the kind of reforms we are thinking about, and we want to give you an assurance. Within 6 months, tunataka hao polisi wakitembea usiku wapatana na wewe na girlfriend yako, mnatoka sinema ama disco, mmechelewa, wakikuweka kwa Land Cruiser wasikupeleke police station, wakupeleke mpaka nyumbani. And I want to assure you, hii maneno itawezekana because the police themselves, police wenyewe are also tired of harassing Kenyans. Hata hao wanasema hawaoni haja kuharas watu. So tumekubaliana tuangalie mambo yao sawa sawa, na hao pia wakuwe watu wazuri, so that we live well with them. Si tumekubaliana? Kwani kwenda disco ni makosa? Kwenda sinema ni makosa? Kushikana na mrembo mkono ni makosa. There is nothing wrong. That is part of teenage life and is part of growing up. And that is what we want to tell these police officers. Because at one time they were young. Labda hao walifanya wamejificha, vijana wale wanafanya openly. So that conversation is going on. We want to give our young people an assurance that we shall have a friendly police service whose work is to protect the people of Kenya, not to harass them. Tumekubaliana? Asanteni sana.
Maybe finally, let me ask our governor candidate. Kwa sababu tuko city, Kanairo ni city ya mahasla. Na tunataka atuambie kwanza pale kwa takataka. Umesikia takataka hapa imezungumziwa. Umesikia pia mambo hiyo ya askari. Na unajua watu wakisema askari hata kanjo wako hapo ndani. They want something to hear from Mansaks.
Sawa. Thank you Excellency. Wacha kwanza nataka kubanja na mavijana. Hii story ya Mangure ni ukweli. Mara mob ni vile wako unenge na hawakai vifiti. Being a young person si crime. Na nguri mingi hata zinaweza malizwa mtaani tukiriorient vile wanadu job. Hata wasa wakanjo. Haifai kwa tikanjo wakikucheki kazi yao ni kukufukuza. Wanafaa kuwa wanakusaidia kuduyo busy yako fiti. Because if we reorient how they think, that ukisaidia huyu kijana kona hapo ameseti troli yake, revenue itapanda pia na hii. Do itakuwa mingi, juu mavijana Nairobi tunasema janta ni janta, dondo inamata. Si ndio hiyo? Mboka ni mboka. So that is the opportunity we are going to give in this city. Ya pili, mavijana wajue pia lazima tuwe na opportunity. Mimi pia ni kijana. Madividi amesema vile alianza akiwa kijana. Mdosi amesema vile alikuwa kijana. Nilikuwa chairman wa TNA nikiwa ruling party nikiwa 26. Nikiwa 26 nilikuwa chairman wa ruling party, 27 28 nikakuwa MP, 32 nikakuwa senator na 37 nitakuwa governor wa Nairobi. So mimi ni example tu, mavijana wanahitaji tu opportunity. Na mimi nikipenya juu nimepata hizi machuo zangu nimevuka, nikipenya hivi na ikangazi mavijana wengine pia wapande. Because what the young people want is just an opportunity. And if we are not on the table, we are on the menu. So we have decided to be on the table as young people. Hizo stories za takataka si mnajua Nairobi hizi makateli vile zimejaa na vile zinadubizi. Sisi tumesema mavijana wanadu hiyo job ya tako mtaani, instead of a few guys making millions and billions out of it, mavijana wanaweza hiyo kazi. We can do it. So we are going to incorporate young people kufanya hiyo kazi. Hizi crime mingi zimetoka because of lack of opportunity na busy iko. Nimesikia stories za sports, nimefurahi zile job akina Theory wanadu, Anthony Waithaka, Makadara vile anadu na ma-MP wetu wote kina Nixon, kina Korir wote. Hizi mawanjo zetu mingi zimekulwa, si ni kweli? Ma social halls zimekulwa, watu watazirudisha. We will return all social halls in every sub county ambazo zimeenda, wale wameiba lazima watazirudisha. Kuna sports mingi, kuna ball, kuna rugby, kuna iblo. Iblo ilikuwa kubwa sana zamani. I was part of boxing professionals. Tulikuwa na Mudhuru wa Sports Club, boxing, Kaloleni, hizo side zote Jerry. We must bring them back. And in those social halls, we are also going to add libraries. Ndo watu wetu waweze kusoma. Si ni kweli? Waweze kusoma pia. Hizi grao kama za D, Your Excellency Dandora Stadium vile ilisimama na nikaipigania kwa Senate ikaweza kurudi, at least tutaimaliza. Vile hiyo mradi ilisimama, kuna mavijana walipata wameangushwa huko LD because they went back to crime. The young people go back to crime because they also want just to feed their families. They have no option. We are going to give them opportunities in Nairobi City County. Labda ya mwisho nikimalizia, hiyo story pia ya mbili. Moja ni ya wasanii, ingine ni ya drugs. Mavijana, hii story ya drugs imekuwa mob sana. Many of our hospitals, Your Excellency, and I'm glad you've addressed it. The people who get opportunity for rehabilitation are those who are rich and wealthy. Because many of these, ukianaziju Chiromole, nini, domingi. Ukiambia mtu ni Mathare, ni wale wamesha chizi. Hivyo ndo wanaicheki. Every health center in Nairobi, because I studied this issue and I realized clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, etc. are not in the schemes of services of county governments. Minta waandika job. So hata kama ni hiyo dispensary kwa hapo, health center, level 3 kwenda juu, you can get help. And young people, it is okay not to be okay. It is okay not to be okay. Bonga na mtu, msijipeleke na hizi mapresha za Instagram, sijui unaonesha umepiga look nini na una do. Let's leave that peer pressure of trying to keep up with the Joneses. Tuishi tu ile maisha uko nayo, mavijana ndio wako na shida, haongelesha nangi ukiona shida. But we'll create those opportunities. Ya mwisho ni history ya arts. Excellence mimi nilikuwa msanii. Tungekuwa na time ningeroga kiasi, lakini sasa naenda kiti ya governor, so siwezi kwa naroga saizi. But Your Excellency, young people for a long time, and I'm glad you supported this fight, because Skiza Tunes ilikuanga wanapata 16%, nimeipush ikafika 40%, and I know it is going to 51%. We need our media houses who are listening to us and you know are here covering us. Ukiamka asubuhi unasha TV ni Alejandro, jioni ni sijui Kondosi Esmia. Yet mavijana wako na talent Kenya. The arts and film industry, we must get 60% local content on our TVs, on our radios. Na musicians wetu wapatiwe hiyo opportunity, because we have real talent in this country. Unless we have a quota system of the amount of music and film and even advertisements. Watu kupigwa mafaini kupiga picha tao ni juu ya nini? Hiyo ni uvala sana. In a public place you take photos or photography or you have a drone, you're fined. In Nairobi those things will end. Please be assured of that. And I want to assure you finally that with our election, Your Excellency, huyu mdosi anaitwa William Ruto ni mzee wa maana sana. Ni mzee wa maana, ametupatia opportunity. Ile side nyingine tulikuwa tunashoyo ati sisi ni mavijana sana, hatuwezi kuwa viongozi, ati sisi kuwa governor. Jumeni kijana. Yeye amenishika mkono. Simpige makofi. Na vile amesema gava yake itakuwa na kwa mili hapo. History ya mainstreaming tumedanganywa miaka mingi sana. Haikuangi ati will mainstream in other ministries. Tuliambiwa hivyo 10 years ago, it's never happened. Just give us a youth ministry that cuts across all issues of all services in different ministries, and have your governor candidates tukiongozwa na 047 Nairobi also committing to have youth ministers in our CECs, my chief officers, so that you mainstream them. You can't have mzee yako 90 anapiga story ya Vision 2030 nataka ashaenda. Or creative economy. Mzee yako 90 anatuambia Vision 2030. I mean, we don't decide who lives for how long, but by natural attrition, hawatakuwa. Patia kijana apige hiyo shughuli and we can do it. So vile Alfred Mutua amesema, history yote itakuwa tu ukiweka pale inatakikana. Kenya Kwanza, president ni nani? William Ruto. Na governor Kanairo ni nani? Asante sana, Excellency.
Asante sana. He really supported us and we didn't take that for granted. One more time, we appreciate him this way to Asante sana mdosi. I think panel ya leo, si ndio? Wacha tusikia warembo hapa, waulize maswali. Ndaanza na mrembo hapa, useme jina yako alafu useme swali yako.
Kwa majina ninaitwa Antonella Kakuko, natoka Tiati, Baringo County. Your Excellency, I have one question touching on security. That specifically is a question concerning cattle rustling and banditry. What measures is your government going to put place to ensure that banditry, cattle rustling has been put to an end and the perpetrators of such acts be brought to book? The other question, Your Excellency, is on the rise of abductions and extrajudicial killings through juvenile gangs that have mushroomed in our country. What measures is your government going to put in place, or what policies is your government going to put in place to ensure that we have a secured country? Because security is an aspect. Security is an important aspect in a country, especially for the development of both economy and social aspects of life. What measures is your government going to ensure that we have a secured country, especially in parts that are affected by Boundary 3, northern parts of Kenya?
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Security is the cardinal principle of governance.
Tafadhali.
And having a secure country is at the heart of any functional democracy. Our plan on matters to do with security, especially when you talk about banditry, when you talk about cattle rustling, the problem with banditry and cattle rustling is that it has been given a political face. It has become commercial. It's no longer a crime in certain areas. It is funded. It is protected by politicians. So as Kenya Kwanza, we're going to go beyond and look at the root causes of what is going on. We have also undertaken that we need a systemic change of some of the communities that continue to engage in cattle rustling. We have proposed, for example, that we are going to have special schools in ASAL, arid and semi-arid areas to take care of the children of pastoralists who keep moving from one place to another, and so that progressively we can create a new community of pastoralists, people who have gone to school, people who appreciate knowledge. Secondly, the problem in those many cattle rustling areas is infrastructure. Many a times, even the police cannot get to those areas. So we have to open up. We have specific roads in many of these areas that we have been requested to be able to put up, so that these roads are security roads and they make it easier for government to respond. And thirdly, is the whole thing about infrastructure. We need dams, we need water for people to feed their livestock, so that we avoid the movement from this corner to that corner and the other corner. We begin to settle these people in a way that their life is predictable. And that whole space of security is something we will want to deal with. But from a banditry cross-border point of view, I just want to give one commitment as Kenya Kwanza, that extrajudicial killings will stop. Let me repeat, extrajudicial killings will stop. No citizen will be executed without due process. If anybody is a criminal, he must be taken through the judicial process and proven to be a criminal. Nobody will be shot. Many young people in our slum areas lose lives because they are suspected to be this or suspected to be the other. Maybe the way they dress, maybe the way they speak, maybe the people they, you know. And so we must be categorical, because the Constitution does not allow anybody to be executed. It's only people who are taken through a process. I will ask Moses Wetangula to, I know it goes all the way to the realm of terrorism and that kind of thing. Please, party leader.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Vijana hamjambo. Tunashukuru sana kuwa na nyinyi hapa leo, na nakubaliana na yale His Excellency amesema. Nobody, and we mean nobody, in whatever category has the right to unlawfully take away anybody's life. So mambo ya extrajudicial killings, we want to put our security apparatus on notice that if you obey unlawful orders to extrajudicially terminate anybody's life, you'll be taken to court and be charged with a homicide like any other murderer, because that is what you are. But over and above that, Your Excellency, mambo ya cattle rustling, mambo ya banditry, it also has been escalated by a lack of goodwill from the government. If the government had the will to stop banditry, it would have stopped it. And I want to commit that we as Kenya Kwanza will have absolutely zero tolerance to any acts of banditry, cattle rustling, or lawlessness that make our citizenry uncomfortable or destroy their properties and their lives in whatever form, in whatever place of this country. Lastly, I want to urge vijana wetu. You know, we as party leaders work with young people like you. In my party, I have one of the youngest candidates in Kenya today, a 19-year-old Halima, is an MCA candidate in Wajir. We've given her a ticket. We didn't charge her any fees. We are supporting her to campaign. In 2017, we took a young girl from Must University in Kakamega, gave her a ticket, supported her, and she defeated 16 men to become an MCA. She's now on the highway to be elected the second time. In our list of nominations, we have university students, tertiary students, put on priority list so that they can start from there and develop themselves and mentor others. But we come back to what Alfred Mutua said, that is all up to you to take the initiative so that power is never given, it is grabbed. Lastly, young people. History is replete with young people who have made phenomenal mark in life. Michael Jackson became a star at the age of 8. Jesus Christ was killed at the age of 33. Nobody has forgotten who he was. Prophet Muhammad, Fidel Castro and Che Guevara stormed in Havana to overthrow the government of Fulgencio Batista at the age of 24. And we can go on and on and on. It is an opportunity available. Join this exciting movement of Kenya Kwanza. You will be part of the government, you will be part of the movement, you will be part of the success, and we shall all sit at the same table to talk about your future. Thank you.
Asante sana. I'm going to request Amina, just one more question, my dear, and then we finish up, we go to the next part of the program.
Good evening. My name is Amina. I'm from Wajir County, and I'm part of the UDA Youth Congress as a leader. My question to you, Your Excellency, is in terms of the ID accusations of northern people from the northern part of Kenya, especially the coastal parts and the northeastern parts of Kenya. Your Excellency, we face difficulties in getting these IDs at the immigration centers due to vetting processes, which we are actually told to bring our grandfathers, and sometimes we are even told to bring our area chiefs, but unfortunately some of our grandfathers are dead. So what happens to such people who don't have grandfathers? We have to wait also a waiting period of 1 year, while the rest of Kenyans usually get it in 2 days or a maximum of 1 week. So what will your administration do to make sure they come up with a different solution than what we have in the previous regimes, especially in terms of ID accusations? And in terms of ID accusations, you can understand somebody can be a university student without an ID. So kindly, we would like to have your government focus on that issue. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate what you have said. People in northern Kenya and some parts of coastal area undergo when they are looking for identification cards. I have spoken to many people. I was in Modogashe the other day with my good brother Aden Duale. And it is heart-wrenching to hear the horror stories. We have women 40 years old. We have very many people who've even opted to be refugees because they have no option. So the Kenya Kwanza government will not run two different sets of citizenry in Kenya. There is only one citizenship of Kenya. We cannot have two sets of laws. The same requirements that is required of a Mr. Kipkoech or a Miss Otieno or a Miss Kamau should be the same for Halima and Haisha and Mohammed. It is as simple as that, right? So we will make sure that we implement the same requirements for identification for everybody. At the moment, that's not the case. People in northern Kenya are asked for ridiculous vetting mechanisms. So the vetting mechanisms that do not apply to other citizens will be abolished so that every citizen can have the same requirements for acquiring title deeds. Secondly, I know, for example, the passport office that was in Garissa was closed. And therefore, everybody in that region have to find their way to Nairobi to process a passport. We will open the office in Garissa because it was doing a wonderful job. And we will staff it properly so that everybody can have access to government services, including passports and IDs. Maybe JB Muturi, you have been Speaker in our National Assembly, and you know many members of Parliament have come to your office on this subject. One, of extrajudicial killing, and two, of matters to do with identification and the unfair practices that occasion people from northern Kenya. I don't know whether you have some thoughts.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And I want to confirm that indeed we have faced, I have numerous occasions been petitioned by members of parliament from Wajir, Garissa, Mandera, and quite surprisingly, Your Excellency, even from Busia and Bungoma and Turkana. It's as if the system that we appear to be using in those frontier counties is one of criminalizing being neighbors to our neighbors. It's as if you are treated as a lesser Kenyan because you come from a county that borders our neighboring countries. Yet, we are talking of integration within not just East Africa, but the entire continent. I believe, Your Excellency, the experience that has been there in the past is one that we, as Kenya Kwanza, should begin by removing, as you've stated, Your Excellency, all requirements that appear to have the force of law, because indeed they are even unconstitutional, actually. Illegal. A procedure that is unknown to law, but is only applied to sections of Kenyans. I think it is in the 21st century, 60 years after independence, I think it's a shame, and we must do away with that. Indeed, Your Excellency, I am aware, I've dealt with those issues even when I used to work in Western Kenya. Honorable Wetangula is quite alive to the fact that some of their people would be subjected to similar treatment. And I know, Your Excellency, the commitment that there is within the Kenya Kwanza team and the zeal with which we intend to approach this, the governance of this country, is one that will give pride to everybody to feel, to say that they are Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tafadhali nawaomba kwa heshima, Asla nakuja hapo kwako bro, usijali. Tuwapigieni hawa viongozi wetu makofi tafadhali kwa kuchukua muda kuzungumza na sisi. Your Excellency, we say thank you so much. Thank you so much Ghetto Radio. Wangeshi tunasema asante sana. Tumekuwa live manze Ghetto Radio. All the panelists, we cannot talk all of us, but nawashukuru sana sana. Kwa hivyo kwa heshima ndawauliza viongozi wetu, we go back to our seats and then we can go on to the next part of the program. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Usiogope bro, niko na wewe. Tafadhali dakika moja tu tugotee tafadhali jameni. Wapi nduru ya mheshimiwa starehe?
Ako area.
Bwana Jagwari.
Mukopoa, Your Excellency, leaders of Kenya Kwanza, all protocols observed. Mimi sitachukua time mob kuongea hapa. Kwanza ni kukushukuru sana kwa sababu wewe tu ndiye ule kiongozi tuko na yeye ambaye anashikana na vijana. Mimi nakumbuka siku moja nilikuja kwa ofisi yako wakati nilichaguliwa kama mbunge na nikakuomba, ukaniambia unataka kuingiana na vijana. Na wakati nilikuja kwa ofisi, ukaniambia ujui unaweza patana nao wapi. Ukaniuliza ama twende kwa kanisa tutawapata huko. Nikakwambia town vijana wanapiganga shughuli. Kwa hivyo mostly wezi wapata kwa makanisa. Na wakati uliniuliza tufanyie vijana nini, Your Excellency, nikakwambia vijana wanataka tu vitu kidogo, unaongea nao. Kama kijana anataka mradi unampatia mradi. Na nakumbuka Your Excellency tukapigia vijana kama 3 4. Na wengine tukauliza wanataka miradi gani. Wengine wakasema car wash, wengine wakasema mikokoteni, wengine wakasema wheelbarrow. Na mimi nakumbuka hiyo siku ukaniuliza, Jagwa, mimi Your Excellency Deputy President, mimi nitaweza kununua wheelbarrow aje nipatie vijana? Mimi nikakwambia vijana hiyo ndio vitu wanataka, kwa sababu wao hataki kupewa, wanataka wajipigie shughuli na waendelee na maisha yao. Kwa hivyo Your Excellency, mimi nakushukuru sana kwa kusimama na vijana. Na sisi kama wale vijana wako karibu na wewe, sisi tutakuwa tunakukumbusha zile promises mumeahidi vijana, kwa sababu najua maybe unaweza kuwa busy ukiwa rais. Kwa hivyo sisi na akina Korila hapa, akina Theuri, akina Nyoro, tutakuwa wakukusukuma ili kama kuna kitu ulipromise vijana inafikia kwa vijana. Sitaki niongee sana, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana.
Nataka kuita wadosi hapa wakuja tufanye commitment.
Yes.
I'm going to call the legal team. Commitment kwanza tafadhali. Let's have Karobia and Yvonne. Karobia, Yvonne and Newton, wherever you are. Karibuni sana so that we can have this commitment. Then after that we are going to sign it. Karibu sana.
Karibu sana. Newton.
Vijana mpo? Tukisema vijana mnasema freedom is coming. Vijana! Vijana! JF Kennedy once said, if not us, who? If not now, when? And as young people of this country, we have always been on the front line to ask what the country can do for us. But today, in Kenya Kwanza, as young people, we are saying, before you do to us, then this is what we are going to do for this country. And just before I read them, I want to join everyone here who was personal in regards to the opportunities they have been given. I was given an opportunity by the Speaker of the National Assembly to be his spokesperson at the age of 31 years, and I am very grateful for that. This is our commitment as young people. 1, we commit to embrace peace, unity, cohesion, fight radicalism, curb antisocial behavior and violent extremism of our youth by promoting national values, cohesion and unity. Our commitment number 2, we are saying to ensure and to commit to patriotism and participation through the spirit of Kenya Kwanza. Our commitment number 3 is to be ready and able to step up and take the baton of leadership and responsibility for the common good from the generation ahead of us on time and without fail. Vijana, freedom is coming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yvonne. So on the commitment, Your Excellency, as youth in Kenya, we are committing to protect the environment and to fight climate change. Also, as youth in Kenya, we are committing to campaign for 70% of the youth vote. As youth in Kenya, we are also committing to protect and guarding our votes. Thank you.
Yes, as part of our commitment, we are going to promote the rule of law in our country. We are also going to pay tax. Your Excellency, tumekuwa tukiambiwa vijana hatutaki kulipa tax. But as part of our commitment, we are going to pay tax through our enterprises. The other thing is that we are not going to participate in violence during the election. And the other commitment is that we are going to have grassroots mobilization. We are going to have town hall meetings to ensure that we popularize the Kenya Kwanza Youth Charter that we are going to sign today. Your Excellency, wacha niongee Kiswahili kidogo. Sisi vijana hapa tumekuwa tukipiga kelele sana kwamba sisi tuko na potential mingi. But nowadays we are not going to talk about potential, we are going to talk about the reality of young people in our nation. So Your Excellency and Kenya Kwanza principles and my fellow young people, Kenya Kwanza is the best deal for us. Whatever we are going to sign here is what is going to determine our space in government. And I know, Your Excellency, your track record speaks volumes in regards to empowerment of young people in government opportunities and also in the economic empowerment. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you so much. Wapigieni makofi tafadhali one more time. I'm going to take this opportunity now. Nimuite Amira. Amira akuje akaribishe boss so that boss can make his remarks. So mabibi na mabwana, jameni, tumpigieni Amira makofi mwanangu anaponjoo hapa tuongeleshe bwana. Karibu sana Amira.
I would like to request you guys to hold your hand up. Hold your hands up and repeat after me. Viva vijana viva! Viva vijana viva! Viva Ruto viva! Viva Musalia viva! Viva Hustlers viva! Your Excellency, the 5th President of our country, my political father and the party leader of my party, ANC, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Before I call you here to witness or to sign the charter, Your Excellency, I would just like to proceed and add a few words to our commitment. Your Excellency, as the youth of this country, we take our whole life battling and battling, trying to be seen, to be heard, and to be taken seriously. Your Excellency, being young in Kenya is honestly really, really scary. So as Your Excellency, you being here today, taking part in this exercise, proves that Kenya Kwanza is a listening government. Any sane Kenyan voter will demand that you're sworn in immediately. As the youth of this country, we volunteer and commit ourselves to be vijana wa mkono for a revolutionized country and for a better Kenya under the leadership of Kenya Kwanza, if that is what it will take. They say the light is at the end of the tunnel, but you, Your Excellency, is the light for millions of Kenyans and those of them who are gathered here today. Gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to call the 5th President of our country, Honorable William Musalia Mudavadi, because he has had our commitments, and we will now like to take the opportunity to hear you commit to the youth of this country and this blessed night. Honorable Honorable William Ruto.
Everybody, let's take our seat. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Kenya Kwanza team, and we have a very big, formidable team here this evening, I want to thank the young people of our nation. I want to thank our present and our future for sharing these moments with us, sharing your passion, your desires, what you want for your future with us. I want to tell you, I am going to sign the Youth Charter in bold. And let me say the following, that we already determined that this election is about the economy. But the face of that economy, in our first bullet of what we need to do in the bottom-up economic model, the majority at the bottom of the pyramid are the millions of young people who are unemployed, who are struggling with startups, who are working on their hustles. And I want to tell you, we are serious in our focus at the bottom of the pyramid, and we are serious in making sure that we lift everybody up. Bottom up is not a slogan. Bottom up is a program. And that is why I want to ask of you, the young people of our nation, this is a defining moment in the history of our country. This is not a moment you want to be a bystander. This is not a moment you want to watch from the sidelines. This is a moment you should be right in the middle of the action. And I want to ask every young person in Kenya, whichever way you want to vote, but you must vote. You must wake up and vote. And I want to urge you, as you go to vote, vote wisely. For a long time, we voted tribe, we voted region, we voted other issues. This time round, let us vote our interests. The art of politics is not about friendship. It's not about tribe. It's not about religion. It's about interests. And at this point in time, if there is one thing we must sort out in Kenya, is the youth bulge and the unemployment that comes with it. I promise the young people of our nation that all investments that we are going to make in every sector, those investments are going to target how we are going to create jobs at every step, in every way, so that we can engage the energy, the knowledge, the talent, and the expertise of the young people of our nation. We are determined to make sure that our young people are no longer considered part of the problem. We are determined to make the young people of our nation part of the solution, if not the solution to the issues that affect our nation. So, good people, front, left, center, and back, whatever it is that we will be doing, the young people will be at the center. The employment of the young people will be at the center. And that is why this evening was so important to us, because we were speaking to the present and the future of our nation. I want to thank you very much for sparing time to share this moment with us, to participate in this conversation, and to shape the future of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I know we said that there will be no speeches, and I don't intend to make one. I think I should stop. I am going to just introduce the Kenya Kwanza team here. I will start with Anto. Anto is our candidate. in Makadara. I have Nixon Generali Korir from Langata. I have McDonald Mariga from Kibra. I have Karungo Dhangwa from Kiambu. I have that young man is called Medho from Nyandarua, senator candidate for Nyandarua. Mwalimu Sosion, you know him. Simba from Laikipia, Kate Waruguru. Kijana Keter from Nakuru. Samson Ndindi Nyoro from Keharu, Member of Parliament from Keharu, and among the youngest members in our team. Mr. Rotich, our governor candidate from Elgeyo Marakwet, a young person. Swag Master, George Deuri. You can see he's there complete with his bag. Whatever is in the bag, nobody knows. He told me that he was having roast maize. And then, of course, our one and only Johnson Arthur Sakaja, the governor candidate of whoever is working on the mic should tell us whether fundi wa mitambo alipotea ama alienda wapi. There used to be a famous guy called fundi wa mitambo.
Check.
Okay. Are we there? Is that better? So I have introduced Johnson Sakaja, our governor candidate for the great city of Nairobi, a member of the Kenya Kwanza lead team, Alfred Mutua, the governor of Machakos, aka Chap Chap. And then I have in the house Justin Bidan Muturi, the Speaker of the National Assembly and a member of the Kenya Kwanza lead team. Of course, the one and only Papa wa Roma, Moses Masika Wetangula, the deputy captain of our team, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua. National Congress. And then I have Jambaya Rorere, the one and only Moses Kuria from Kiambu. He wants to be governor of Kiambu. And then we have Pius Ababu Namwamba Smart. And then we have the leader of the pastoralist community in Kenya, the one and only Aden Bare Duale. And then, of course, Earthquake himself. Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, aka Earthquake. I think for the moment, that is the Kenya Kwanza team that is here. And then, of course, we have Cherargei there, Senator Cherargei from Nandi. We already introduced Kanyi Jaguar. So that's the member of our team. I want to say thank you very much. I have Francis Mureithi there.
and many other people. Thank you. I can't see you properly. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, boss. Wapi makofi ya His Excellency tafadhali. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Let's appreciate His Excellency, the incoming 5th President of Kenya. I'm going to request SGUDA and SGANC, TSP, DP, and all the affiliate parties to kindly join us on stage, please. All our SGs, please, you can join us on stage. And then I'm going to introduce my learned friend here who is going to take us through the sign-in. So all the SGs of our affiliate parties, please, just join us on stage. My learned friend, karibu sana.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. Youth power. Youth power. Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Salma Ochieng, and I stand on this stage having been mentored by you in 2014 to join the leadership space, and this is the space where we currently are. Your Excellency, this being a youth charter, we would want the youth to own the document first before we move into the process of you and your principals affixing your signatures. Youth, are you ready? Yes. Youth power. Power. Youth power. When I say youth power, you say freedom is coming. Youth power. Youth power. Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, my colleague who was the document, just leave it open. And I want to put the question to you, the congregation, the convention that is seated here, that this youth charter, today the 27th of June, be adopted as a policy to form part of the youth manifesto. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. We will not have the question on contrary opinion, so the ayes have it. Thank you. It is in triplicate, so Your Excellency. Where is the other one? In triplicate, right? Let's give a round of applause to His Excellency. He has affirmed that he will work with all the youths of this country from all corners, and you will form 70% into his government. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Because I will not be doing this. I think we can, if we can hold that, kidogo boss, eh? Because I will not be doing this alone. I want to ask the party leaders who are here to come and countersign this document so that it becomes not a personal commitment, but a collective commitment. Because as a Kenya Kwanza fraternity, I think I want to do that. Can I start with my good deputy to come forward, followed by Musalia?
Let's give a round of applause to His Excellency the Earthquake as he makes his way to affix his signature.
Followed by Alfred Mutua. followed by Aden Duale, followed by Moses Kuria,
We can do better than that, guys. Tupigeni makofi tafadhali one more time. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much, Your Excellencies, for finding time to be with us here, to discuss with us, to sign a charter. Majama, si rada iko sawa? Si rada iko sawa? All right, so nataka kumuita viongozi wetu wa kidini waweze kutufungia na maombi. Kisha baada ya maombi tutacheza wimbo wa kitaifa. Na kisha baada ya hapo tutafanya closing remarks, then we'll... Tafadhali. Karibu sana. Karibu sana, maombi kidogo.
Naomba tushukuru. Viongozi wamekuja mbele yetu na kuwashukuru wa Kenya na kina mama, na leo ni siku ya vijana. Shukurani yetu kwao na kujishukuru ni kuwapigia kura. Shukurani yetu kwao na kuwashukuru ni kuwapigia kura, ndio tutakuwa tumejishukuru. Tunamshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu, Mola wa viumbe vyote, kwa siku kubwa hii ya hali ya juu, kwa neema mbalimbali ya afya, ya kuwa salama, ya kuanza mkutano na kumaliza mkutano. Tunarudi nyumbani. Mwenyezi Mungu, mbele yetu tumeomba na wamenyenyekea wengi, na tunanyenyekea zaidi na kukushukuru. Tumebeba bendera ya UDA, tujalie uongozi wa nchi hii. Viongozi walio mbele yako Mwenyezi Mungu wamekushukuru, wape uongozi wa kila sehemu waliokuwa na usimamia. Mambo yetu yaliokuwa magumu Mwenyezi Mungu yafanye mepesi. Yaliokuwa mbali Mwenyezi Mungu tuletee karibu. Walikuwa wagonjwa wapatie uponeshi ya magonjwa yao. Waliokwenda mbele za haki wapendwa wetu Mwenyezi Mungu wasamehe makosa yao. Jalia makaburi yao ni mabustani katika mabustani za heaven. Watoto wetu, vijana wetu wafungue akili zao, wafahamu masomo yao, wawe ni viongozi wa leo na kesho. Tunaomba haya machache kwa kuamini. Amin.
Your Excellency, I was part of the young team that formed this charter. And I just want to say thank you. This is a vote of thanks to each and every person that was committed towards making sure that today we are able to present something to His Excellency, the incoming President, that touches to all parts of what the youth call what they want to be part of in their oncoming government. So thank you very much, Your Excellency, with the whole team. I just want to say this as we pray. 2 Samuel 5, verse 5, the Bible says, David was 30 years when he became king. 1 Samuel 13, verse 1, Saul was 30 years when he became king. Genesis, Joseph was 30 years when he became king. Jesus Christ was 30 years when he was allowed to lead the church. And there's another book today we have found out. That book is called His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, that says he was 31 years when he was given the opportunity to lead the people of Eldoret. So you owe this young generation an opportunity to serve just as you were handed that opportunity. And we want to say we are up to the task, sir. We are willing to do what it takes to make sure that the youth in this country are known for something beyond what is normally there. So let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you, Lord. We bless your name. Thank you for this opportunity you have granted us. For many are the plans of a man, but at the end of it all, your will shall prevail. Thank you, Lord, because according to the plan of the youth, your will has prevailed today, and that your voice has come out strongly in regards to what you want to do in this nation. We ask of you, King of Glory, that this charter will not just be a document that will end on the table, but will become a manifested reality. We pray for this incoming government, Lord. May you give them wisdom and supersede them with knowledge and understanding, that they may walk and live and do as you will, King of Glory. Give us the grace to know that no matter how authoritative we are, no matter our kingship role, no matter authority, whatever we stand to do, that King of Glory, at the end of it all, you remain supreme. So, Father, we bless them. We bless them. We bless them. We ask of you that you bless each and every person from wherever they came from, return them back safely, and all glory and honor shall be unto your name. We begin with you and we end with you. Glorify yourself, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Wapi makofi tafadhali ya wachungaji.
Asante kwa kutupeleka mbele ya jaja. Tubaki hivyo tu tumesimama tupige national anthem alafu tupache, si ndio? Wazi jo. DJ tupeleke na Riang.
Asanteni sana. Asante sana, Your Excellencies. I think we may now leave. Wale wanamochoka, thank you so much, Kenya Kwanza. Thank you so much, everyone who came here today to be with us. Mr. DJ, if you have any song, Katelo.
Bana jo.